It is Wednesday, October 4th, 2023. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Wednesday crossword today, so we've got a midweek, mid-difficulty themed crossword. And we're breaking our streak of debut constructors, so I don't know if that even was an intentional streak, but it seemed notable. Anyway, this midweek, mid-difficulty edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Laura Sexton, Victoria Rojishka, Kathleen Quinn, and, as always, the indomitable Showmaster and the incredible Horan family. So thank you so much to the 5 of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support. They are, of course, bringing us this series and sustaining this channel. I'm very grateful to them for that. So thank you to those 5. Thank you to everybody who's a patron of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign. Thanks to you if that includes you. And if you'd like it to, you could head over to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the link in the description field where you can find all of the bonus videos as well as the Daily Solve official mug for benefactors. Thank you again to everybody who is a patron. And what else? You can join the Daily Solve Discord chat server. There's a link in the description field to that friendly chat community. And please do subscribe to the channel on YouTube. That is a big help, and it'll help you as well because you'll see these videos promptly and consistently. All right, let's get on to the crossword itself. This is a Wednesday crossword by Gary Larson. It will have a theme, and this is the 6th puzzle, I believe, for Gary Larson. So welcome back to him. Not the cartoonist, as I know from I think the last time I looked up Gary Larson. Anyway, it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. Let's start solving. Cousins of daisies are, I don't know, it'll be another flower, I suppose. In public, seen, maybe? Something's happening in public, it's seen. Let's see if that's going to work. Central Plains nation. I don't know. Patchy, I'm not sure. Superfluous, extra, or... not sure about that either. Each could be in 4 letters. Each could be a pop. You could say that's 4 a pop. That's 4 each. Cousins of daisies. Just seeing if that brings anything to mind. It doesn't really for me. Central Plains nation. Just not thinking of very many things here. Superfluous. I don't know. Okay, let's just keep going. Longtime pugilists group. So pugilists are, people who box. They fight with their fists. So I think there's a World Boxing Association. I don't really know very many boxing organizations, but I've heard of that one. Moby Dick subject. Whale, white whale. I'm not sure. I mean, whale does start with a W, but I can't really think of any way any version of that would fit here. Highest of highs, the acme, the very highest point. Let's see if that works here. To do something is to act. There we go. Lip cover or betters pile. Not sure. Lip cover or betters pile. I mean, a better's pile. Oh, sorry. I was looking over there and I didn't realize that or was italicized, but it's very extremely, it's sort of extremely italicized over here. That's strange. What does that mean? Lip cover or better's pile. Chips or something? Chips. No, chips would be the second one. I'm just thinking because this or, sorry, just to explain my line of thought here, because this or is so extremely, there's so much attention drawn to it, and I can see, now that I'm actually, I just saw another one of these a second ago. Where was it? Here we go. Tickle pink or top notch, and we can see it has this really strong type treatment. It makes me wonder if this is if we're meant to draw special attention to the or. Are we meant to sort of do something with that in the clue? Is there some... And the reason I thought that is because chips or dip, it came to mind, but I don't know what that would have to do with anything. And it would have chips in the wrong order anyway, but also that wouldn't be a phrase. It would be chips and dip. Sorry, anyway. Better's pile of chips. Is there any way that that helps? Lip cover or Better's pile. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm thinking about this the wrong way. The problem is, if it's just one thing, then you wouldn't. Then it would just be a completely ordinary or clue, and you wouldn't need to draw attention to it. That's why I'm wondering if. Sorry. Anyway, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm sort of just fumbling around. But this is clearly the theme. The theme has something to do with this or, that's to which the typesetting is drawing a special attention, but I'm not quite sure how. Free for all could be maybe a melee, a dust up, a brawl. And if you're at attention, you're erect, you're standing straight up. Singer with the Living Proof Farewell Tour, 2002 to 2005, as well as a Here We Go Again tour, 2018 to 2020. So that must be Cher. Well, it's starting with CH, which is what I sort of wanted. Story or mosaic? Oh, it's another one of these. I need to really be careful that I'm observing the ones with the special or. Right, so this is just a tile. Story or mosaic piece. So a tile is a piece of a mosaic. Now, why is that a story? So, yeah, so it is just one thing. I'm surprised by that. And this is starting to look like chips, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Bench press muscle informally is a pec for pectoral muscle. Cover a Benner's pile. Plus, an asset is a plus. Maybe I just have to solve this and see what happens. Story. Oh, a tail? Oh. Sorry, I finally see how this works. I apologize. Okay, yes, it's I don't know if this is how we're meant to fill in the puzzle, but just in the interest of explaining it, a story is a tale, a mosaic piece is a tile, so we're filling this cell with A or I, and that's where the or comes in. That's why this is being highlighted here. And then similarly, we have a chapstick or a chip stack, I think, is what this is going to be. So a lip cover could be chapstick, which is a lip balm for chapped lips. So here we'll have I before A, I suppose, because we have a chapstick or a chip stack. The better's pile in a casino being a stack of chips, a chip stack. There we go. Okay, that really befuddled me. This is tricky for a Wednesday puzzle. This feels very Thursday to me, but maybe it's because the cluing is not on the particularly difficult side. So anyway, if something goes to pot, it sort of goes to seed, it declines, it decays. In good shape. If you're in good shape, you're so fit. Not sure. What about this? Tickle pink or top notch. So I wonder if the order needs to be maintained here. So in these downs, the I was part of the first half of the clue. Does that mean that the I will relate to tickle pink? I hope it does. I would like that to remain consistent, but I don't yet know. Top notch. I mean, top notch could be elite, which would be the opposite order. But and that is it, because elate is to make somebody happy. Oh, right. So this is an opposite order. Well, I'm not really sure how to enter that in the grid then. Right. Okay. I guess it doesn't really matter. Maybe I should just pick one and always put that first. I guess I'll just do this. That's a shame though, because it's gonna be harder for me to keep that straight, but that's fine. In good shape, a solid, right? Okay, there we go. Big Apple clothing brand. Oh, DKNY, Donna Karan, New York is a clothing brand related to New York, the Big Apple, a nickname for that city. Kind of soldier. You could have a little tin soldier. Probably don't really exist so much anymore, I wouldn't think. I think those long predate me, but they're certainly, you see them in sort of period films or just older films, things like that. Nevada mining town. And I suppose there's tin soldier still kind of used in a metaphorical sense to refer to somebody who's I don't know, you hear that used sometimes to refer to people who make a big show but don't have much substance behind them. Anyway, Nevada mining town. I'm not sure. Is there a Nevada mining town called Ely? My associations with Ely as a town is that it's a cathedral town in the UK, and so it is often indicated by the word sea in British cryptic crosswords. Sea in the sense of a religious sea, and referring there to a sort of seat, a religious sort of seat of a, whatever kind of organization of the or the sort of hierarchy of the church. And so it's really burned into my brain for that reason, because it comes up all the time, but I don't know if that's the answer. Wills, oh, it is. It is. Because a will supplement is a codicil. So a sort of addendum to a will is a codicil. Here we have on the record in a way, though not on a record. Taped? Yes, it is, right. A conversation could be taped and therefore is on the record because there is a literal recording of it, but it is not on a literal record because it's on tape. So it's on magnetic tape rather than a vinyl record. Okay, oh, right. This looks really different here and here. What to compile before travel, or they're really drawing attention to the or, aren't they? Or a choice that's not really a choice. A fait accompli? No. What is it? A choice that's not really a choice. I don't know. We'll come back to that. Why did I jump up there? I don't remember. Oh, it's because of taped. Cabo cheer could be ole, so a cheer you might hear in Cabo. So, as is so often the case, the location is simply serving as a language indicator, in this case, Spanish. So, that's Cabo San Lucas, I assume, but there might be other places referred to as Cabo, I'm not sure. Oars in pairs. Skulls? I mean, I think this is referring to rowing. I think a skull is the particular rowboat, I believe. I'm not sure this is right. Let's look at the crosses. U blank. Well, U-Haul is a brand of it's a van rental brand you might use to move house, for instance. You'd rent one, and so I think that's the answer. Answered a charge, you could plead in court, and so answered in past tense would be pled. So you're responding to the legal charge levied against you. Here we have "This Is Just to Say" by William Carlos Williams, essentially. So this is what has become an incredibly sort of memed poem from the perspective of somebody who has just eaten somebody else's plums that were in an icebox, and it's been sort of transformed endlessly on the internet to be about basically every subject imaginable. So that's what it is, but what is it essentially? An appeal? No. An apology. Right, okay, it is essentially an apology. It's kind of an apology. I guess it is. I guess the sort of perspective character in this poem does basically ask for forgiveness, but they don't seem all that sorry about it. It does end, they say something like they were so cool and so sweet or something like that. I just enjoyed eating the plums so much. Fala connection. So when you see connection following a hyphenated term, what it very often means is we're going to come up with something that connects the two hyphenated elements of the word. So we're going to put something in between fa, la, and in this case, it looks like sol. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So that's the musical scale represented with those syllables in what I know as the solfege system. So there we go. Okay, and you might know it from the song, the doe a deer, a female deer, etc. Bad thing to do in class. I'm not sure. Vintage vehicle. Oh, this was just in the crossword this week. I think REO, which is a defunct brand of automobile that is now probably better known as the namesake for the band REO Speedwagon, which was the name of an REO model of car. Relative of a hogshead. What is a relative of a hogshead? I'm not sure. Let's look at this. Bond, for one. A spy, James Bond. Bad thing to do in class. Sleep, I suppose, would be considered poor form in class. Boats, oh, here's one of these. Boats or bothers. So this must be another theme clue. It is. Dynamos or menus. We'll come back to that. Boats or bothers. And this is relative of a hogshead. Oh, so this one won't be. This is not an or clue. So this will not be the. It'll just be this letter. So arcs or irks. If you a boat is an arc, or an arc is an example of a boat, and to bother somebody is to irk them. So that would make this a keg. Oh, right. Okay. So a hogshead must be some sort of beer or other alcohol kind of container. That sounds kind of plausible to me. I might have encountered that once or twice in my life. I'm not sure, but there we go. It's a keg is a relative of a hogshead. All right. So dynamos or menus are dynamos. I'm not seeing this. I'm sorry about that. Bill, I want this to be Bill. Bill. I don't know if it is. Many is subject of the... Oh, maybe it is, because many is subject of the E channel. This is an entertainment news network, I believe. I assume it's still around. And it is a celebrity. So... I'm not getting it, though, unfortunately. Okay, Australian export could be, I mean, I don't know, beef or wool, or those are both, I think, fairly significant Australian exports. Yeah, not sure. Cast aspersions on. To deride somebody, maybe? Cast aspersions to deride somebody. That seems reasonable. Let's see if that works. Eden to nod direction. East. I don't really remember this. This is referring to the sort of biblical locations, but I'm not sure. But it starts with E, so that assumes deride is correct, but I'm going to just say it is for now, and we'll see if this is proven wrong. Picked dues could be afros, sort of associated with a particular kind of comb, kind of pick comb. To sort of pick it, to tease it. Okay, stuffs or spots. Sates and sites. Yes, there we go. So these are all AI. I was wondering, because we had this over here, but there was no reason necessarily to assume that all of the rebuses in the puzzle would have that. I realized that just now. I never explained what was going on with that. Sorry. With the rebus function. So you can enter an indefinite number of letters into any cell of any New York Times crossword. You usually shouldn't, but sometimes you need to in order to complete the puzzle. And I think today might be an example of that. I don't know how they're expecting this to be entered, but it looks like it's expecting the rebus tool to be used. And there's simply a function called rebus. So you click it, you enter the mode, you click it again, it leaves. And then on the phone app, there's a different way of doing it. It's a key on the little virtual keyboard. But how do you know when to do that? You don't. You just need to figure it out. And today we figured it out by way of that's why there was so much attention drawn to this italicized or, simply because the constructor or the editors of the crossword are trying to nudge us in the direction of understanding what needs to happen here. So anyway, that is what needs to happen today, I think. Surprise element in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy trilogy. Right. Okay. I read all of these when I was young. What is a surprise element in them? I'm not sure what this is referring to. I'm sorry about that. I'm sure I'll know it when I see it, but Much studied microorganism. Oh, maybe this isn't deride, because I want this to be an amoeba. Right, okay, so that didn't work, but it did give me east, which happened to be correct, I guess. So that was fortunate. I suppose D is a good start to something being negative. Cast aspersions on. Defamed, right, oops. To defame somebody would be to cast aspersions on them. So there we go. Also, I just noticed, yeah, halfway. I so rarely notice that occurring, but anyway, there it was today. I don't know when they added that. I don't think it's been in there forever. Okay. Surprise element in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy trilogy. Earths? I don't know. I'm not sure what this is. I hope I recognize it when I see it. For something to abate, it lessens. If the pain abates, it lessens. Social group could be one's tribe. Oh, maybe this isn't skulls. Because this is, right, that was why I couldn't get this. It's bill of fare and ball of fire, right? That's why I wanted this to be bill, because I was thinking of sort of bill of fare for a menu. Fare in the sense of food. Oh, wait, no. Oh, plural. So, oh, no, it is skulls. Sorry. No, I could have gotten this the whole time. I just didn't. It's bills of fare or balls of fire. There we go. Those are our dynamos or menus. Very good. That's very clever. Okay. Australian export. Oh, is it opal? And then, oh, I see. Surprise element in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy trilogy was part 4, in the sense that there was a then 4th book in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy trilogy. And then I think there was yet another one, and then it became the sort of quadrilogy. I think what he did was he kept sort of iterating the kind of name of it by one, but always one behind the number of books. That's my sort of vague memory. So I think when there were 5 books, it was a quadrilogy, and I don't remember if it ended up getting to 6 books. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not sure. Hollywood's Evan Rachel Wood. There we go. There's an actor whose name I recognize. Is there anything else that was filled that we didn't see? Stuffs or spots, sates and sites, where we did see that one. Okay, I think that's everything. Up to info. It also occurs to me, maybe when I said wool, maybe that isn't an Australian export. Maybe that's just New Zealand. Anyway, I'm not sure. Sorry. Up to informally could be till, as in until. Squarish, question mark. So it could be referring to somebody, maybe the question mark makes this a bit of a pun. So I assume what that means is this isn't referring to a geometrical square. Maybe someone who's a bit of a nerd, who's a square. I'm not sure. Keep looking around to see what we get. Comedy club division. A set. You could divide the night into sets by different comedians at a comedy club. Lines on an airline map. Routes or what? What else would fit in this space? Not sure. App name for a karaoke star. My first thought was mime, which doesn't really mean anything because it's the opposite of what you're doing. You're actually singing in karaoke. So what would that be? Also, mime isn't a name. Fly in the face, e.g. spit. That spits in the, maybe you'd say spit in the face. Fly in the face, e.g. C-shaped tool. What is a C-shaped tool? I'm not finding anything here. Lofty spot for brooding. Here we go, an eyrie. So a sort of bird habitat that is high up. So, maybe a sort of nest on a cliff edge or a cliff face or something like that could be an eyrie. And so a bird could brood up there. Lines on an airline map, arcs? Oh, because they are always arcs. In order to kind of represent the curvature of the Earth, they're generally not represented as straight lines because they need to sort of translate, I suppose, essentially from the flat projection of the Earth. Or I don't know. I don't know if they're actually. I don't think they're doing that to actually represent accurately the path of the airplane, because it's going to be much more complex than that arc. But I think the arc is drawn essentially to represent to sort of pictorially represent the curvature of the Earth. Okay, C-shaped tool, Greenland or Garland, a lay, or a lee or a lay. So What am I doing this? A first, I guess I'm doing, regardless of the order of the clue. So Greenland, L-E-A, or a garland, L-E-I, a lei, which is a flower garland that is very much associated with Hawaii. And then a Greenland is this is just another word for a sort of meadow or a pasture. So there we have it. All right, we solved another one of these. C-shaped tool. Oh, a clamp, probably. Basically C-shaped to sort of clamp something to a work table or something like that. Fly in the oh, it's a pest, right? Okay, it doesn't. That's very clever. It doesn't mean to fly in the face. When I read this, I thought it meant as a verb to fly in the face, to sort of go counter to what you've expressed or desired. But no, this is literally a fly in your face, flying around, which is a pest. Apt name for a karaoke star, Mike. I don't know why that wasn't the first thing that came to mind. Sorry, should have been a real gimme there. All right. So sensational scoring feats or sensational songs. Well, the songs will be tracks, and then tricks are the score. Right. Okay. So hit tracks or hit tricks, hit. Right. Okay. Hit tracks or hat tricks. There we go. Okay, very clever. So the sensational scoring feats are the hat tricks, which I think is often sort of 3 of something successively, and then sensational songs are hit tracks. Carpe diem, as they say, seize the day. Squarish, right, okay, I'm still not sure what that is. We'll come back to it. Parishioner's portion, perhaps. So it could be a tithe, if you tithe the portion of your income, which I think is sort of most classically 10%. You could be a parishioner of a church and tithe income to it. Make a choice would be to, well, actually, my first thought was act, but we've already used that, and opt is a bit more specific. To make a choice would be to opt for this or that. Home to Iolani Palace. Oh, that's funny. That's come up. I think Iolani Palace, at least within the last couple of months, was in the crossword. Anyway, that's a Hawaiian former royal palace on Oahu, which I visited one time, and it was very interesting. Singer grande to fans is Ariana Grande, so Ari. I think we've encountered that in the crossword before. Walks fancily or some rulers, so prances and princes. So to prance is to walk fancily, you could say, and then some rulers could be princes. Okay, squarish is unhip, right? Okay, so it was referring to someone who is maybe a bit of a nerd or isn't cool, I suppose. So they're squarish, they're unhip. Okay, and I think we've looked at all of these, so let's keep going. Block ending, blockade maybe as something in the way of something else, something intentionally blocking something else. Archaeological projects are digs. You could have an archaeological dig. And Moby Dick subject is, oh, is it just whaling? I don't know why that never occurred to me after all of that. That's frustrating. So, okay. Also, Moby Dick, sort of an appropriate thing to clue here, because the full name of this novel, as I recall, is Moby Dick or the Whale. So that might have been an intentional, tiny little nod to the theme. I don't know. Okay, so we can finally put in the longtime pugilist group of the WBA, I believe. And then underlying or salad herb would be, right, basic or, I'm trying to think of sort of basil, basic, what am I missing here? Sorry, what am I? I'm not sure what I must be missing this. Sorry. It can be cured. Ham can be cured. Band-aids are amps, so amplifiers used to sort of aid a band, a music group to, amplify their music. Nile danger could be an asp, the snake. Sorry, so what am I missing about this? Is basic? Is that a salad herb? What am I missing here? Oh, basil, as in, right, okay, sorry. So I just kept thinking basic for underlying, but basil is I guess sort of another adjectival form of that. I mean, I have encountered that before, but I think mainly in sort of scientific contexts, like basal nerve. I think I've mainly heard basal used, yeah, in these very specific sort of jargon, or jargon's the wrong word, but very specific bits of terminology. You rarely hear people describe something as a sort of basal cause, an underlying cause. So that's why that was so elusive to me. But there we go. It is a word, and there we have it. All right, to feel bad is to ail, to feel ill, literally. Loud visually could be garish. So if you're wearing a garish outfit, it would be loud and have bright colors, maybe bright contrasting colors. Material for a loom is yarn, where you spin yarn on a loom, like some pitches. This could be advertising pitches. It could be maybe baseball pitches. It could be, well, actually, it could be baseball pitches in more than one way, because it could be you literally pitch a ball, but it could also be the pitch on which you play. I guess you wouldn't say that for baseball, but on which you play football in the sense of association football, soccer is played on a pitch. Anyway, I don't know which of these it is. There's several options here. I don't really have any great ideas for any of them. Cousins of daisies, Central Plains nation. Right, I'm back to the beginning where I didn't make any progress. Superfluous. Oh, but here we have more options here. So what to compile before travel, or a choice that's not really a choice. A packing list, a picking last. Yes, there we go. Okay. Nope. So a packing list would be things to compile before you go on a voyage, you take a trip. Or picking last would be a choice that's not really a choice, because it's the only remaining option. So you didn't really make any kind of active choice. Okay, each does look like a pop after all that. It ends with a P, so that seems plausible. Fallen angel or luxurious fabric. Right, Satan or satin. So there we go. So Satan being the fallen angel, and then luxurious fabric being satin sheets or satin clothing. Cousins of daisies are they asters? Classic crossword flower answer that didn't occur to me at all. Let's see if that works. Think twice is a common phrase. Fuji fungus could be enoki mushrooms, associated with often associated with Japanese cuisine, enoki mushrooms. Like some pitches, I still don't quite see this. Oh, Pawnee is an indigenous people. So there we go, Central Plains nation. And then superfluous, otiose. So sort of, I guess I always think of otiose being kind of, you're sort of, if you're otiose, you're kind of a layabout maybe. So superfluous, maybe just kind of extraneous in that sense of not contributing something actively. I'm not sure, but that feels plausible to me. And then like some pitches, resiny, like some pitches. This sounds right to me, and I feel like I'm missing a piece as to why. I'm thinking of sort of tree resin. Pitch as in like tar. I think that, so the phrase pitch black, for instance, referring to incredibly deep black tar or pitch. I think that is what that's referring to, and so there's resin involved there. I think that's what that is. Anyway, finally, we'll end on German refusal 9, which is simply no in German, and there we go. That took a while for a Wednesday puzzle, and oh right, look, we've got our AI has been sort of modified here to have a slash between the A and the I, which I guess is another way of sort of confirming that we entered it properly. And there we have it. So we had this initially very baffling theme, which was which dealt with 2 possibilities for each answer. So what to compile before travel is a packing list, or a choice that's not really a choice, picking last. We had underlying basil or salad herb basil. We had lip cover, or which was chapstick, or a better's pile, a chip stack. I find that one very clever. I mean, I suppose the ones that involve 2 of these letters are just feel very clever because they're it's impressive to have done it. I guess these are basically spoonerisms. We're sort of flipping we're flipping vowels in order to create alternative words, alternative phrases. Okay, walks fancily. Well, the two word ones are spoonerisms. The other ones aren't. Walks fancily or some rulers. So walks fancily prances, or some rulers are princes. To tickle someone pink would be to elate them, or top notch would be the elite. A green land is a lee, or a garland is a lay. Sensational scoring feats are hat tricks, and sensational songs are hit tracks. Right, I didn't fully appreciate when I was first solving this clue that each half uses sensational, which is a nice additional little touch, considering the fact that they're using different words entirely to represent sensational. It's very good. Okay, dynamos are balls of fire, and menus are bills of fare. That one's very good. Boats are arcs, and bothers is irks. And finally, I think this is the last one, stuffs, sates, and spots, sites. And there we have it. That was a very clever Wednesday puzzle with a fairly involved theme. So you really do need to understand this theme in order, you need to both understand the theme as well as understand the capabilities of the New York Times crossword software, that you're able to enter more than one letter in a single cell. So that does always trip some people up. I hope this was instructive if you are among that group. And there we have it. That was the Wednesday crossword. I'm really short on time, but I will make an effort to read some clues, some comments on clues from yesterday's puzzle, because there's put on the spoiler wall. There we go. Now I will read a few comments on clues from yesterday's puzzle, because I missed something incredibly important, which was that there was an entirely additional layer to the theme that I didn't notice, and as a result of not noticing it, I did not mention. So Gelthor, several people pointed this out. I'll just mention the first person, I think, who did. Gelthor says, gave me more credit than I'm due. You probably noticed, but neglected to mention, that the shaded squares are examples of 48 down, which is a snake. I did not, I neither mentioned nor noticed that. And Dragon Traces replies to point out the snakes in question are the boa constrictor, anaconda, garter, mamba, and asp. So we had our illustration of a snake in the style of the old Snake mobile phone game. But of course, the illustration itself was made up of snake names, and I completely missed that. So thank you to everyone who pointed that out. Dragon Traces also points out there were other early inhabitants of Scotland being the Gaels. Fair enough. That is a good observation. That should have come to mind for me. Any Prophet says, I'm a little surprised you aren't familiar with the VMAs. It's probably the second biggest music awards show after the Grammys, and they've been going since 1984. Yeah, it's fair enough. For whatever reason, I mean, I grew up and music was my main interest. I mean, it was what I studied at university. I played in bands in my teenage years and early 20s. But I just never paid attention. I literally never. There was never a period in my life where I paid any attention to music awards shows. For whatever reason, it was just never something that that had any impact on me whatsoever. I don't really know why. All right. Anyway, we'll cut it off there. But thank you to everybody who commented. I do always appreciate it, especially when you point things out that I blatantly missed. So thank you for that. And I'll be back tomorrow with the Thursday crossword, which might have an even more involved and complex theme than this one, which would be which is something of a tall order. But let's see what it is. So join me then. But until that point, please do have an excellent remainder of your Wednesday. Take care.